Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fellowship of Fans, Rings of Power Season 2, San Diego Comic Con trailer stream. We have a lot of cool things to talk about tonight, and as we wait for the trailer, I'm going to be chatting with some really cool folks here. First of all, we have Nikki. Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going? Long time no see. It's been a while.
Well, it has been a while, but here we are, catching up. We have Jaron. Hello, sir.
Hey, good. Glad to be here. Again, it's been a while. I'm excited to be here to talk about the trailer.
Yeah, and we have something particular to talk with you in a few moments. We have with us as well Ulmo. Good evening.
Hello, good evening to everyone.
And we have the Shiv Knight. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello. Happy to be here. Really excited.
Thanks for being here. And also huge thank you to Kyle, who is doing the background stuff of the stream, which without whom we would not be here, or at least we would be here in a very lower quality of stream. So thank you, Kyle, for doing everything in the background. And of course, hello everybody in the chat, hello everybody watching the video. Thanks for being here with us. To start things off, a short explanation of what's going to happen. So we will go over this Looper article written by our very own Jared back here as we wait for the trailer, which should drop in about 25-26 minutes. When the trailer drops, we will watch it, and then we're all going to comment on it, and we're looking forward to all of your comments. But yeah, so here we have the article from Looper, which Jaron wrote, and it revealed some new characters for season 2. So maybe we can start with Jaron. How was it writing this article? How did you get this news? How was the process?
Sure. So, I mean, all these character reveals, any exclusives are always fun to see them come together behind the scenes. It's kind of always a crazy process because there's so many moving parts when they promote these shows. And I knew something was coming, and then I kind of got pieces of it, and then once I finally got the fact that it was a character reveal, I was pretty excited. Then I found out it was a double reveal, and they were like, "We want to send them out together. We want them to be buddy buddy." Obviously, because this all connects to Elrond's storyline, and so the kind of getting the pieces. They're non-canon characters, so it was one of those like they gave me names, and I was like, I need more than names. I need to know, which they were going to give me all of it, but they gave me names first, and I was like, that as a Tolkien fan, that doesn't tell me much. They look like Tolkien-y names, but then I got the character descriptions, and I was like, all right, now we got some stuff to work with here, both in the show and in the actual Legendarium. And yeah, so it kind of went from there. And as a journalist, it's always fun kind of pulling in the production side with the story side and kind of being like, where are they coming at with how these play into the story? And then also, Callum Lynch has been in some big stuff, and Selena Lowe too. Both of them are kind of pretty big up and coming character or actors. So yeah, so that's kind of the in a nutshell version.
Well, you seem to have done honestly a pretty good job as always. Like I always like the amount of lore explanation that you put in there. That's like always very brief and on point. But like that's exactly the amount of information we need about this stuff is always so good. So I really, really admire that because I would probably just either overdo it or not do it properly.
That's
Um,
the balance is you could quote 50 pages of text sometimes, and they're all with Tolkien they can be contradicting or at least different because you're pulling from all these different posthumously published things and trying to condense it down, and then you're thinking of the whole gamut of people who want to read this because people are reading this that are like my family members who are like, I don't know, I like the show, it's fun, but I don't know who any of these people are, and we're talking about Elrond or something, and then you have people like us who are like, what kind of an elf is it? Because an elf is not enough. I need more information. So yeah, that's always fun trying to balance all of that at once.
no, I mean you did a great job, honestly. It was a pleasure to read this one. And well, speaking of elves, Nikki, how do you feel about the two new elvish characters?
I like
And
it.
at the first glance.
Of course, we always need more elves. We can never have enough. I was a little bit surprised to read that that Callum Lynch was not playing who I thought he was playing. As you guys all know, I had certain expectations of this upcoming season. But now it's looking like we might not even get to see any of that. So I think that it is good that they are non-canon characters because it gives them more room to play around. And as we saw in season 1, a lot of the characters that weren't canon were actually really compelling and great to watch. So I'm excited to see what they do with it and where they go with it. And based on the article as well, it sounds like the storylines are going to be interesting for both of them. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. I agree. I think there's definitely room. It seems like there might be more room for character development of even those, not main characters. And I feel like if we're getting such an introduction to this character, hopefully they will get enough time to shine on the screen. D, how do you feel about having an elven map maker from Eriador to lead Elrond's group? And what's your theory maybe here? Like what could be happening? Why is this happening? Because Jaron put some theories in the article as well. So what do you think of this?
Yeah, I think that's a good character catalyst to explore other regions of Middle Earth. As we have a map maker, he's going to have to explore different regions and map them out. So this gives the show an opportunity to explore other areas we may not have seen. And I know there's talks of Rune and all that, so maybe he has something to do with that storyline, or who knows where else. And definitely want to make a shout out to Dunkirk. If you haven't seen that movie by Christopher Nolan, highly recommend. It's a great story in history, and Callum did a really good job in that movie.
Yeah, I forgot
Thank
about
you.
that. That's a good movie.
That is. I was also reminded of it with this article. Yeah, thanks, Jaron, for that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Okay, so we have
What's
a
happening?
live
Little behind the
video,
scenes.
short behind the scenes video, live from Hall H. So yeah, for people who don't know, we have our very own Harry and Warking actually at San Diego Comic Con. They are in Hall H, and yeah, they are, as we can see here, getting hyped for the trailer as we are.
Max
So yeah,
hype.
look at that.
Ooh.
That's gonna be. Look at that surround.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Um.
So
Okay. So.
one other thought I had on Kemnir was that looking at it from a story arc perspective, and that he's not certain characters that we thought he was going to be, like Nikki mentioned. I am also aware of the fact that, and I'm saying this completely guessing on my part. I know nothing about his actual story arc beyond what we see here. But there is the part that says Kemnir's bravery will be put to the test when Elrond's band of warrior elves encounters an unexpected attack on the road, the Barrow Whites. So he's going to be part of that storyline that we knew was coming. But I cannot help but think they're introducing someone fairly late in the process here, and I'm just wondering if he's going to make it to the end of the season or not. It seems like the perfect setup for the expendable character. So I'm curious if we see him overcome fears and become like a critical piece later on, or if he's. I mean, there's a lot of people in this show already, and so I'm just curious where that's going to go. So
they need some expendable ones. They really do, because otherwise it's just going to be a bunch of ensemble cast that they can't kill off. But then again, they do have to kind of follow the canon as well. It's a pretty big deal for us that they do. I do feel like it is a bit like it's a big missed opportunity for them not to have him play Celeborn because of the way that he looks. Like he looks like we've seen comparisons.
It looks regal enough.
It would have been such a great. I think he would have done a great job. And I was really hoping to see that storyline with Galadriel because it feels kind of like you're missing something. Like there's an arm and a leg missing in this Galadriel storyline when she's not married and has a kid. But then again, it gives her more freedom to do what she's doing, I guess, without dragging them along with her. So I don't know. I just, yeah, I would have loved to see him in this season, and I would have loved to see Callum Lynch play him.
Yeah, they have, thinking
Yeah.
of like the
We have
Balrog. Oh, look at that.
So Bear McCreary is currently performing the soundtrack for season 2, I assume,
Oh man, I am
live.
so...
So, and he did this actually also for season 1. So
Yeah.
hopefully this tradition keeps going on for future seasons. So I want to be there one day.
He did a wonderful job. Yeah, I have bucket listed. I have told everyone I'm going to Comic-Con next year. I'm just not taking no for an answer. If I have to sell my soul to do it, I will.
Yeah. But I want to ask Ulmo. So how do you feel? So Nikki mentioned we have all these canon characters who obviously have certain ways their storylines need to go. But how do you feel about having all these characters who are now new characters, and maybe we will not have the chance to actually see them for long on screen? For example, one of the biggest castings in season 1 was Simon Merles, and he was killed off in like 2-3 episodes, and he was actually a standout.
Well, I think it's a good thing because it's a story, right? And like we have only so many characters that need to live until the end of it. You know, if you read the books, if you know the story, if you watch Lord of the Rings, you know which ones they are. But beside that, it's more interesting to get attached to certain characters and then them eventually dying. Um, I'm not gonna just always compare it to Game of Thrones, of course, but like if you can compare it to Ned Stark in Game of Thrones in season 1, you know, like someone that you're gonna be rooting for, that you're gonna like, and then eventually he's going to die because that's also something that is required because otherwise you don't have the investment from the viewers by itself, you know.
That's good.
Did we just
So
hear some
we
nom
had
pop?
Yeah, that's clearly a reprise on the song from the first season, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was isn't it Sauron? Is it called Sauron or is it the Southlands one?
No.
Oh man. I think it's the Southlands one. No, it's Sauron.
There's one
yeah.
called Nampot.
there is.
Wait,
For
hold
me,
on.
I couldn't really hear this, but I guess you all did, so it probably on my side. But yeah, I actually just watched this episode yesterday. Like they had this chanting Nampat, and
It is
that was
Sauron.
a typical theme for that.
It is part of Sauron as well. The same rhythmic stuff that we heard there. It's part of Sauron.
Cool.
He's hyping the audience with Nampat. There we go. I mean, honestly, yeah, that is one of the standout musical parts of the first season. All right.
In the first season, when did we get the music? Didn't we have it by this close to the show?
Around this time, I think, yeah, like maybe like about a month before or something.
Yeah, they kept
Okay, we're going
everything
to have
so
another video
close.
update in a second.
They kept everything under wraps so well during the first season, and I feel like they have this time as well. But they've played around with it a little more now because, well, the secret's out. We all know what it's about, and we all know who's playing the lead character. So, yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like didn't the soundtrack first leak somewhere, and then I think they released it.
Yeah, and they posted a couple songs individually, right? And then they added the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we should get another video soon. But maybe while we wait, we can discuss the character that Amelia Kenworthy plays. Her name is Mirdania. Her name is also very interesting because it's a direct reference to Gwaith i Myrdain, which is the name for these elven smiths of Eregion. So we might have something really cool in a second. So I might just stop talking at any point now. But for now,
Surprise
let's
trailer.
hear D. So Mirdania being the name of this character, what could that mean for the title of Gwaith i Myrdain? Because we might do we still have the chance of having those smiths called like that, or does this maybe mean that we have just this little Easter egg?
I wonder, do we have the rights for that for this? I forget where that's
That's always
mentioned.
a question, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's always a question. And it's one thing that everybody guys have to remember to ask yourselves as well, is do they have the rights to it? Because before we start getting mad that they cut something out, they might not be able to actually use it. So
Well, I've even, I'm still a little on the fence with the fact that we all said that Anatar, that's being used, but in that article where it was brought up, it was written by the publisher, not spoken by the interviewer. So even that one, I'm still on the fence about if they're allowed to use it. It's so interesting with all of these things where, so the same thing with the Gwaith i Myrdain, where it's like, I don't remember exactly what, that doesn't show up very often, just a couple times, right?
Yeah, I think now rewatching season 1, they have.
Start of season 2, dear. Don't trust handsome men, I'd say.
Love Nicole Brown.
And yeah, she doesn't know it all, and Gil Gallad's really ready to tell her that. I'm sorry.
If you just listen.
I didn't quite make that out. What did anybody understand? What was the question?
I didn't hear the
think-
question.
I think I heard Morvid say not to trust handsome men. I think I caught that part.
Yeah, we learned that in season 1.
Yeah.
God damn it. Broke my heart, that did.
Is that Benjamin Walker to the right? It's hard to tell.
I think it might be Elendil.
Elendil?
Or, played over.
Yeah.
No, Benjamin Walker has a beard right now.
Oh, wow.
But it could be
But
Benjamin as well.
He does have a little bit of a beard, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think that's him.
Yeah.
So we are hearing that the trailer is being shown as we speak. So
Jealous. So
yeah,
jealous.
everything
Boy.
is on time. I mean, seeing it on those huge screens, I mean, that must be an experience. So
Does
yeah,
that mean we have 4 minutes till we get to see it?
I mean, I guess they might still hold on. I guess until 8:30.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I'm wondering when it'll be released on YouTube.
It's always exciting.
But yeah, while we're waiting, folks who are in the chat, please remember to drop us a like, because that helps the channel quite a bit. And also, yeah, we are going to get the trailer probably quite soon, and as soon as it is out, we will let you know. So stay with us, and maybe we can hear in the chat, like, what do you all think of the new Elvish and Dwarvish characters? Because speaking of dwarves, we also have had the first image of Narvi, which was a pretty big deal for one of our friends.
We did
who
have
should
a
not be
sneak
named.
preview of the trailer last night, but to see it in Hall H is going to be something else, and I think we get to see it twice, which is great.
That's awesome. What are you most looking forward to for the fans to see today?
I think, speaking from my point of view, really looking forward for them to see the unfolding of the Sauron Celebrimbor story, which I think they've been keen to see, and I think they're going to be happy with it. We certainly are very happy with it.
Have you been to Hall H before? Is this your first or second time?
No, second time. First time was 2 years ago for season 1, and very, very excited to be back.
Yeah, the energy in that room, I mean, there's nothing really quite like it. Right?
No, it blew us away last time. It really did, especially when the trailer played. It was an extraordinary reaction, and I'm sure it'll be the same today.
Ooh, exciting.
All right. It is. Honestly, I feel like it's such a shame we're spoilers for everybody who's here, but I think you're probably one of the reasons why you're here is because you like spoilers as well. I wish we would get more of Charles Edwards' Celebrimbor than what we might get.
Yeah, I like him. I think they made a good choice there. He's
Wonder where everyone else is.
Okay.
Are they allowed
So-
to film, or are they being sneaky? Because I feel like
That's
it's
a good
all just
question.
like snippets of just little things that don't really make sense, but it's cool to see. Look at them! How cute are they?
They are. The cast seems to be quite nice and friendly by all accounts.
Yeah, this is the full
Um,
cast, isn't it? Because you can see the cast and down the
Yeah.
bottom, and then there's a big screen up
Yeah,
there
yeah.
focusing on. Yeah, so I think the whole cast is there, or most of them. But I'm guessing the what we saw first was like a mini panel specifically for those guys.
Uh-huh. So the trailer has been shown and the panel has now started, but the trailer is not yet online. So we will get back
We
to
are
you
waiting.
as soon as it is. Yeah, to be in that crowd right now, right?
Oh
So
man,
jealous.
I would give my left leg. Is that what you say? I don't know. But yeah, I totally would.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, so while we are waiting, Narvi, everybody's favorite dwarf, maybe after Gimli at least. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Are we gonna see the doors of Durin being built this season, or do you think that maybe they will just like push it aside, perhaps? Like, do you think it's going to be a big point this season?
I don't
Because
know.
Narvi and Celebrimbor are the ones who create the doors.
Oof.
Well, they have been marketing Narvi, so I'm guessing we're gonna see a lot of him. But it might be that they're establishing something for season 3 because there are gonna be a lot of storylines to cover. Then again, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if the Celebrimbor line moves too quickly, they got to build the doors before that reaches a climactic moment. So
Yeah.
True.
Are we getting 8 episodes
pretty
this time
cool.
as well?
I think so. 3 on the opening, on the premiere, and then 5 1 week at a time.
Right.
Which
But I
again
mean,
feels like
he's
a
fun.
big
He's
shame
one of-
for the fact that we'll not get more screen time for all these storylines and characters to
Yeah.
fully shine. It seems.
Mm-hmm.
Narvi is fun though, because he's one of those like canon characters with kind of a blank slate. They can kind of fill him in as they want to, which is really fun.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe in the chat, folks, who were your favorite? Who is your one favorite non-canon character in season 1? Let's see what everybody thinks there. And I can also ask you as well. So, Ulma, who is your favorite non-canon character? First person who comes to mind. for
Okay,
season 1.
I'm trolling a bit, but I'm gonna say Waldrick.
Oh no,
The
you
MVP.
did not. You did
All right,
not.
is that it? Does anybody here have a favorite non-canon character from season 1 who is not Waldrick?
I got.
I mean, Aaron
I got
Deere is
one.
pretty awesome. Here's a lot
Here
of
we
fun.
go.
Aaron Deere. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was pretty cool.
He's a main character, though, no?
Yeah, but you said non-canon, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
non-canon. Non-canon, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, non-canon. Yeah, no. Waldrick is still better.
I mean, fair enough. The dude is the MVP, the employee of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Employee of the year,
Um,
exactly.
So it's actually a little known fact, like in the movies, when Frodo and Sam enter the Mount Doom, so just on the side, it's hard to see because of all the fumes and everything, but there's like a photo of Waldrick
Waldrick.
framed there, because for all his deeds that he did to create
It's like
Mordor,
Narvi
like this.
made them. Narvi carves his name in the arch, and Waldrick's got to get his name in on Mount Doom.
Waldrick was here, yeah.
Oh, Adar was fantastic. Yeah, I agree on that. He not just as a character, but like the way he was played, just fantastic. And I also really loved Arondir because I feel like it was kind of hard for me to really feel the elven vibe of most of the elven characters. I felt like they felt too young in a way, if you understand what I mean. Like they felt inexperienced, whereas elves are supposed to be very experienced, right? So with Arondir, I actually got that feeling. Like, yeah, just
you are
years of
absolutely
pain and suffering and
yeah. I agree. For me, without any, there's not even a competition. Adar by far is my favorite. Probably my season-wide favorite character. And honestly, the fact that he, at least as far as we know, isn't a Tolkien character, so like it's an original character created for the show, which who knows, maybe that will change during season 2. I wouldn't expect that, but still, he is probably one of my favorite Tolkien characters, even though he wasn't specifically created by Tolkien, because seriously, the way they nailed down this question that Tolkien himself was bothered with for many decades of his life. Do orcs have a soul? What's their origin? And to give the orcs this point character that we can see this struggle through, who is somewhere between elves and orcs, and to be portrayed in such an amazing way by Joseph Moll was, for me, absolutely like the best thing about season 1. And I'm happy to hear all this love towards Adar in the chat. That's
Sam Hazeldine has a big shoes to fill, that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. I see some people said Malva, which is like I know who it is. I saw it. I think it's Storyteller. My dude, why, bro? I mean, I know. I mean, it was probably a joke, but I mean, she is one of the most annoying characters in season 1. If we're gonna go the opposite. But let's focus on the good stuff. So, what do we think of the stranger so far? Everybody in the chat, let's now hear this. Who is the stranger? Which wizard do you think he is? And let's start here with D. D, what's your opinion? Who is stranger the likeliest to be?
I would love for him to be a blue wizard. I hope that's the direction the show takes, but I know it breaks lore and all that, but I wouldn't mind if he was Gandalf if they figure out a meaningful storyline for him, but it would be nice to see a new character.
Okay.
Sauron sees himself as master of all Middle-earth. He seeks to rule it not only through conquest, but by bending the minds of all its peoples to his own. And for that he needs not armies.
No!
But rings.
In choosing to wear those rings, you have all become his collaborators.
I know you believe this ring is deceiving me, but I believe it is guiding me.
All this may be by his design.
These rings may be how he attains power.
They must be destroyed.
We will discuss the rings once you have answered the question. Who is this man?
He is no man. He deceived me. He is Sauron.
What am I to call you?
A sharer of gifts. work begins now.
I have walked across mountains and deserts to help my friend find his destiny. One the fate of the world may depend on.
Is it my task to stop the fire? Is it my task to face Sauron? To try and cheat death might lead to an even greater catastrophe. Father, take off the ring.
I'm afraid, Durin.
Every soul in Middle-earth is in peril. Will you abandon them to their doom?
No, what have you done to me?
Leave Sauron to me.
Promise me, Elrond. You will not stop until he is destroyed.
Forgiveness takes an age.
I need your axe, old friend.
Fight with me. Fight with our friends!
When the darkness falls, there are always some who rise forth and shine. You will give me the nine.
Okay, so I would say let's maybe just all watch it one more time, and then after that we can go scene by scene and talk about it. So let's just go for another view.
Sauron sees himself as master of all Middle-earth. He seeks to rule it not only through conquest, but by bending the minds of all its peoples to his own. And for that he needs not armies.
No!
But rings.
In choosing to wear those rings, you have all become his collaborators.
I know you believe this ring is deceiving me, but I believe it is guiding me.
All this may be by his design. These rings may be how he attains power.
They must be destroyed.
We will discuss the rings once you have answered the question. Who is this man?
He is no man. He deceived me. He is Sauron.
What am I to call you?
A sharer of gifts. Our work begins now.
I have walked across mountains and deserts to help my friend find his destiny. One the fate of the world may depend on.
Is it my task to stop the fire? Is it my task to face Sauron? To try and cheat death might lead to an even greater catastrophe. Father, take off the ring.
I'm afraid, Durin.
Every soul in Middle-earth is in peril. Will you abandon them to their doom?
No, what have you done to me?
Leave Sauron to me.
Promise me, Elrond. You will not stop until he is destroyed.
Forgiveness takes an age.
I need your axe, old friend.
Fight with me. Fight with our friends!
When the darkness falls, there are always some who rise forth and shine. You will give me the nine.
I think we're all speechless.
Yeah.
It's a good trailer.
Okay.
Almost 4 minutes.
Well, that was something. So, on my great sorrow, I have not heard any sound besides the voices, but still, it was great. So let's hear the first impressions. Everybody in the chat, yeah, Holy Palantir, Eru helped them. It was Tom. Great. Okay, let's start with Jaron.
Put me on the spot.
What do you think of the trailer?
I mean, this is massive. I was talking about with somebody about just how when a trailer is 4 minutes long, I usually expect like a featurette or a chunk of it to be a scene, and this is just 3 minutes and 51 seconds of just cut after cut after cut, and on the first pass through, I found like 27 easy details, Easter eggs, hints, things that they're just kind of giving away a lot in here, in a good way. I think a lot of teaser stuff, and so I won't break it down because we can go through it individually. But I think this was a good hype trailer, especially for Comic-Con. I mean, that's a big chunk of footage to give them. So.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely the point. It's a lot of so much stuff here, and yeah, really, I think we're going to talk about this for a while. But let's go to Ulmo. Ulmo, what did you think of this? And did you have a favorite scene, maybe, or anything that comes to mind first as the first impression that was maybe the coolest, most interesting thing? Let's hear.
I think the most interesting thing in that they took some liberty to is it looks like, I mean, it's a trailer, so it can be deceiving, right? Looks can be deceiving, but it looks like the dwarves might be joining Eregion with the battle. At least that's the impression that we're getting from the scenes that we've seen. So it kind of gives me the flashbacks to in the Two Towers, where the elves they join in as well to defend Helm's Deep. So that's kind of interesting, and I don't think people are gonna be too mad about this change in the lore.
I don't think that's a change. That's at least it's an Unfinished Tales.
Yeah.
It says that they come out and attack.
So yeah, it's not very. It is it's in the unfinished tales is like one short mention, but at some point, dwarves indeed intervene. But I think they might be changing it a little bit. I think they didn't show up during the battle specifically, but like more in the aftermath. In fact, I think what happens
they helped
is
Elrond,
that
right?
the dwarves helped Elrond while he was retreating after the battle. So we might see, but here Elrond is calling for help, so maybe they get. Who knows what's happening here? But it seems like maybe Durin will save his friend. That's something we might see.
Yeah, that's kind of the change that I was implying to. Yeah, but I mean, you worded it perfectly though, so it's good.
But yeah, I think no one's gonna mind this kind of change because Elrond and Durin were so beloved during the first season. But let's go to D now.
Actually,
what is your first impression of the trailer and the favorite scene so far.
Sure. Yeah. Really excited after seeing that. There's a lot of good stuff in my opinion. One critique I had for season 1 was the orcs started off very scary in my opinion, and then towards the end they almost moved towards comical. Might have been the show's tone. In this trailer, they look like they're back to being scary again, which is pretty cool to see. So we might get some vicious orc stuff this time around. Some other stuff I saw real quick. The Balrog, it looked like it was jumping down on a tree or something. That looked really cool to see. Farasan touching the Palantir, that looked really cool. I wonder what that's going to do with this season. Just going to get more corruption through that, or see some things and get some ambitions to bring his boats out west and cause a ruckus, I guess you could say. But yeah, overall, it looks like there's a lot of action this season, where season 1 was building and world building, I guess. Looks like they can jam pack a bunch of action into this one, so really excited.
Yeah, well said. I think for me also, like, the most interesting thing is actually the Balrog scene. That was a wild moment.
So there's actually, if you go to that shot, right before it, well, we can show this if you got something to show, but then there's something really, really interesting that I could not figure out when I was looking at the screener. Right? Yeah, so back up a little more. Right there. So play that and just pause it when you see not the Balrog, but Anatar or Sauron. There.
Yeah. So that was the scene I was curious about. But just before we go into that, just to say quickly, since Wendy will leave us soon at some point. Thanks, guys, for being with us tonight. Much appreciated. If you can pop in later, who knows? We might still be going on for quite a while. Thank you very much for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Then to go to the trailer. This scene with Sauron and with Anatar and Balrog does. I think for me the most interesting scene. Does anybody have any theory what's happening here? Like, is he in Khazad-dûm trying to?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Do something with.
No, this looks like he's forging. Like, you know how you put the cup in the fire to melt the gold? It looks like he's holding a cup with gold. Like, it looks like they're two separate scenes to me.
Right, but there's clearly a Balrog shape in the flame there. If you look, if you play it.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Maybe he's like conjuring it, or I don't know. Maybe he's like
trying to communicate with it. Maybe
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like a hologram.
So, yeah.
Thanks,
Cal, for. Goodbye, Dee. Thank you.
Namaria, Dee.
Namaria. So, folks in the chat, what do you think? What is happening there with Sauron and Balrog in this brief scene? Is this maybe is he trying to communicate with him? Does he know that the Balrog is there? That's also kind of like a deviation actually from the lore, because I don't think Sauron was aware of Balrog, but I might be wrong.
Yeah,
that's
so I was
one of those extremely background things.
I was thinking about that one, and actually, I think it's kind of like Shelob, where they like tolerate each other. And we know that, like, if I remember correctly from Fellowship of the Ring, orcs go to Moria from Mordor. So there's clearly interchange between the two areas, but Sauron doesn't act like he's in charge of Moria. So it's hard, I think there's indications that he could be in communication, at least with the Balrog, versus I don't think he's in charge of them.
Maybe he's somehow in communication and awakening, because obviously Elrond runs to Durin to try and get help, and maybe he's like, oh no, I'm gonna awaken the Balrog, or something. Maybe it's like a hologram and he's seeing the Balrog in the flames, like Harry Potter.
Right. Which one of the things I was wondering is, are we seeing him in Khazad-dûm then? Like, because we've heard that Sauron could enter, and I'm wondering if he's in there and they're talking about the Balrog being awakened and he's kind of just sitting on the edge of the conversation or something.
Hmm.
Could be. But actually, no, Kyle. Sorry for messing with you. Freeze it here. We'll get back to Balrog, but maybe we want to go to that quote that you showed us. So we got quotes from Lloyd Owen, so the actor who plays Elendil, and they are very interesting from the panel directly, thanks to Harry and Warking. So he says there is a coming battle for the soul of Numenor, which is something that is to be expected. And this is the big one. And feelings for the woman to my left, and on his left is Queen Muriel herself. So, who had this on their Christmas bingo card?
What? What?
Yeah.
I might have missed that. Is that canon?
No, I think that's
Not really.
Yeah,
Not
I think
really,
that's new.
Jaron, do you want to jump in on the canon side
Did
of
he
things? Are
mean
you
like
familiar with this
personal feelings as an
particular?
actor, or
No, I think he means in
No,
the
no,
show.
I think it's
in the
Elendil and
show?
Muriel. Something's going on there, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Muriel has almost no storyline, so I don't think that's canon at all. But
And isn't she drowning herself in the in a scene in the trailer? Like, are we gonna see the sinking of Numenor in this season?
No. So I was putting two and two together for that one. She's walking into the water, and in the first season, there's the shot of somebody in a white dress floating in the water and kind of confronting this big monster. And it finally clicked. We see her have a vision of Numenor being destroyed in season 1. So my guess is that we're going to get a second vision sequence where she enters the water. She's floating. She's fine because she sees the from beneath destruction, and then wakes up or something like that.
Right, yeah. They're gonna be teasing it for a little bit because I was like, man, that's a lot of storylines to cover in one season of just 8 episodes.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
I think that's a good point. We might get more, at least one more vision. That's how it reads to me as well. But so yeah, regarding Miriel and Elendil, and again, folks, some spoilers incoming. Well, potential spoilers, they might change it for the show, and apparently they might be actually changing it for the show. So Elendil is a part of the royal family. He's like, king, king's sister. At some point, he comes from this line, but he is a part of this royal family of Numenor. In the show, they say that he is a descendant of a noble line. I wonder where they're going with this, because it's a thing in Tolkien that Aragorn, for example, comes from in a straight line from all the kings from Elendil. Elendil directly comes from Elros as well, and so on. So I guess they're changing this in order to have this romance between him and Miriel. But
well, I think there's several
books canon, they should be some kind of like relatives, maybe a bit more distant relatives, several generations apart. Could be, but still they are a part of a wider family. But yeah, they seem to be changing this in the show. And yeah, I guess we are going to get a romance between those two characters. At least that's how this teaser by Lloyd Owen reads.
Yep. The question then is, does he bring her to Middle Earth?
You seem to be very moved. Yeah, Nick, you seem to be very moved by these potential news.
It's very touching. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
So does the romance break at the end? Does she actually die on Numenor, or does he bring her? Do they break the canon and does he bring her to Middle Earth? That'll be the question.
Yeah, I mean she has again massive spoilers. Mute this for like the next 10 seconds, please, if you don't want to hear what happens to Muriel. Basically, I'm giving you a few more seconds. Okay, so basically she drowns while running up the mountain as the Numenor is sunken under the waves.
Yeah.
So I think this show overall is going to be a very dark show with not many happy endings.
Well, and speaking of dark, we have the Entwives. I mean, that's
maybe let's go to that. So yeah, we have a lot of things going on in the trial. Maybe we should actually focus on the trailer. So let's get to Entwives in a second. But we have Isildur will face Shelob in Rings of Power season 2. So we see Isildur in something that looks very similar to Shelob's cave that we see also in the movies. And yeah, it seems that he might face off with Shelob herself.
No, so the official press release announcement that I got yesterday said that is Shelob. She is in the trailer, so
Yeah.
that's her.
The vibe is very similar to Frodo fighting Shelob, except he looks more angry, and this looks more dark.
Yeah, I would say
You better
I
not
wouldn't
kill
expect this
her.
to be
That's very not canon. You
No,
better
he
not
won't.
kill her. That's very not canon.
No, he will not. I'm sure, but it's interesting that he will have to fight her apparently. But I wouldn't say that this must be one of her spiderling children, because she, I think, Zongolia probably has this, ability to like have
This might
children
be
as well.
early.
So
Like this, this might be early in the show because he's dead or gone, and his horse went looking for him or whatever. Maybe Shelob found him unconscious and then went and grabbed him and put him in his cave or her cave, and then it could be later as well. But
Yeah.
I'm getting like an opening shot sort of vibe that he has to fight his way out to get away.
Yeah.
Feeling. That's my guess.
It's interesting to make her small, because I would have thought like, does she, because she's like start small and grow like a typical bug, or does she I would have thought she would have started at a reasonable size. So it's an interesting way to approach it like this.
Yeah.
But I think, doesn't she grow in power
it is strange if
alongside?
this is her.
What?
Yeah, you're right. It does say that she swells and grows.
Yeah.
Nikki, you can finish your thoughts. Does she grow in power?
I it's been a while since I've read like the full stories, but doesn't she grow alongside in power as the world grows darker alongside Sauron or something? Like she gets bigger, she comes back as bigger somehow. I don't know. I don't remember, but I feel like
I'm not sure. I think it's kind of. I mean, in a way, it could be like she goes bigger and bigger and bigger, and she would have kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger. I think as she went until somebody slays her. I would not expect to see a small Shelob, to be honest.
or it's one of her babies. That one there, because that one looks small.
No, but this is
that
Den
one
of
looks
Geek,
very small. So I would.
That's Shelob, right?
Yeah.
According to Den of Geek. Yeah, that's Shelob.
Because that's. I mean, okay.
She's small.
It's
little.
It's an interesting choice then to show young Shelob. I did not expect to see a young Shelob.
Young Shelob. It's origin story number 1.
There you go.
That's the one we wanted. Yes.
That's great.
Sauron the Dark Lord says in the comments, "My poor girl, feed her more victims." Yeah. I think that's your job, Mr. Dark Lord.
Yes.
That's great.
But okay, yeah, I think this comes as a bit of a surprise. I think maybe it was more expected if Shelob's going to show up to be a bit more of a danger. I guess we'll have to see what happens here. Maybe the bigger danger here will still be the orcs, perhaps, and she's just like a kind of like an Easter egg that attacks Isildur as he's trying to go through the mountains, perhaps.
Interested to see what the plan is for that part of the show.
But I mean, we all have very good imaginations.
Do we start from the beginning, please?
Very kind.
Next question.
I'm very much interested to see what the plan is for that part of the show.
But I mean, we all have very good imaginations. We're all actors and artists, but it's really hard to imagine how this guy could.
Very kind.
Next question.
Okay, so can you two please share what was, because I didn't hear anything.
It sounded like he had been asked a question, and then he said it's really hard to imagine that part of the show. And then they said it's something about him. It's difficult for him because he's something. it feels like I'm getting the vibe that they're joking around about like either a relationship with Sauron and Galadriel. Like it sounds like the tone is very joking around about things that aren't going to happen.
Well, it says right there, Charlie Vickers, on whether he will be Sauron throughout the whole show.
Oh yeah.
Right. So based off what they're saying, it sounds like they're still avoiding answering the question.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I couldn't pick up what it said at the end there.
Classic Amazon, classic Prime.
We're allowed to know that he's Sauron, but we do not get to know if he stays looking that way.
Yeah.
So I would ask Kyle, since we're on Sauron's topic, can we maybe skip? So there's a part at the beginning of the trailer, maybe like 10-20 seconds in, we see the crown.
Yep.
That seems to be Sauron's crown. And then we later see Sauron. So I think that was leaked recently. Or not leaked, I think it was said in an interview actually, that the opening scene to the season is kind of like a flashback, and we see Sauron getting killed by Adar, and apparently with his crown.
Yeah.
And this is this shot right here.
Yep.
That's a wild moment to see Sauron killed on screen. I didn't expect to see that this early in the season, this early in the show.
We knew that would happen. Like we knew that had happened because obviously that's why he came back in the whole Adar thing. Adar is not Joseph Mole anymore, is it?
No.
No, now it's Sam Hazeldine.
Yeah.
Hazeldine, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But Sauron seems to. So this is what was referred to as the original form Sauron, and he has red hair here. And I think in most of the fan art, I think we often see him in his, maybe when he was called Myron, which is his original name. He often has red hair, so it's pretty cool to see that they put him, that they make him look like this in the show as well.
Yeah. That's cool.
Very cool.
But look at this shot.
The shot right after this too is super Boromir vibes. There's this arrow sticking out. Also, it looks, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like Selena Lowe's character, Rian.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who it is, but
let's see that, Kyle. If you can try to get this shot.
Like 2 more seconds past that shot, right there. I mean, that looks, first of all, again, very Boromir.
That's a lot of arrows, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a lot of arrows.
But then, does that mean, because that's like, they're showing that someone is either going to die or be really, is that a headshot? Is there an arrow sticking out of her head?
No, I don't think so. I think it
might be like here, but like maybe from some upper angle, perhaps.
Yeah. This is definitely from like the attack of Eregion, right? Like this is
for sure. Yeah.
Which again makes me wonder if Selena Lowe's character is long for this world.
Yeah.
That looks like her from the back.
That's one of the issues with the story like this. Like we only have the big ones. Yeah. And okay, we have major news. Glorfindel can. So showrunner Patrick McKay confirms that Glorfindel can show up in the Rings of Power, and that Celeborn will be coming at some point.
Oh yay! Finally.
All right. So
I don't care about Celeborn. I need Glorfindel on screen ASAP.
Yeah.
But it says can show up. That's frustrating. Come on, are we gonna see him or not?
The question is, do you think that maybe in the Rings of Power there's an opportunity for Glorfindel to exist beyond the pages of Tolkien? Thank you.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. We like that.
Yeah, you can't leave that character out.
A lot of surprising people to show up.
The question is, do you think that maybe...
So again, I did not completely hear that. He said that there is a chance that he may show up, or what?
Yeah, he said the answer is yes for Glorfindel. So Glorfindel's definitely going to be there. but Celeborn
When?
maybe, yeah.
I mean, I think Caliborn will be for sure coming at some point, as the quote says.
I'm looking
It's
forward
just
to
a matter
see
of
how they
when.
do that. Like,
Yeah, because they completely
now.
twisted the story from the books, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, how do we get this, and
Yeah.
how do we, how do we get Calabrian, which is the daughter of Galadriel and Elrond? How do we get her, and do we get her?
Yeah.
But Glorfindel, let's see some love for Glorfindel in the chat. How
Yeah.
are people? Are you folks excited about getting Glorfindel finally? Yeah, I see a few comments.
Give us the Glorfindel and give him to us raw.
Honestly, yeah,
We need him.
that's what I feel as well. Glorfindel
Yeah, it
will
was a
deserve
little
better.
sad when he didn't turn up in Lord of the Rings, but yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
they don't
Arwen
say
did a
Yeah, I
good
mean, I
job.
think in the movies, they made it work, but still, and also like he got um, booted twice. Like also in Ralph Baksh's the Lord of the Rings movie, his place is taken by Legolas, and we need way more love for him. Um, so in chat we have Theo's dad will be revealed at some point. They said it's confirmed.
Yeah,
So
because
one of our
isn't
viewers
someone
is
dead?
saying this that it's from the panel. I assume they have someone as well there. Yeah, I mean we don't know who his father is. We just know he was away. So that's another of the mysteries that will probably be revealed at some point. Um,
I wonder who that would be, or and whether or not he would be someone who is canon or important to the story.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting question. I have to say, for me, some of the bigger moments in the trailer is there's a lot of these big proper battle shots, if I can call them like that. So the end of season one, we had the battle. I mean, in episode 6, and it was a skirmish more than a battle. But here, there's a lot of shots that have like this depth to them, which is something that really I feel like was missing in season one. Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Exactly what I had in mind. Like it really, you can see that there's a lot of things going on. There's like several of these little drops throughout the trailer, which honestly, the fall of Eregion and that whole battle, they should seem super epic because that was a great kingdom of the elves, and to have that one fall will and should require a huge force.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of love for Glorfindel in the chat. I'm very happy to see that.
That would
But
surely
maybe
have
let's.
to be towards the end, don't you reckon? Like,
Yeah,
you don't think that's going to be early in the show?
it will take a while. Yeah. I think the last two episodes are going to be the battle episodes basically. So like this is the culmination of the season. But I would say, Kyle, can we move perhaps to Stranger and Tom B and see what's going on there?
Yeah, I got the vibe then that he was going to save, like, the way that they put it forth in this trailer seemed kind of like he was going to be the one to save everyone, to change the world, to end Sauron, which to me, like, I'm sure that's probably not what they're trying to do, but in this trailer, that's what they're making it seem like.
Well, I wonder if that's the rune. They're in Rune, right? So I wonder if he's either. I mean, he's either. I think it's at this point two blue wizards, or Gandalf and Saruman, and based off the Showrunners' hints and stuff. And I would. So I think all along I've been thinking, are they going to be? If they're blue wizards, are they good or are they bad? And the thought that one could be good and one could be bad.
Yeah, they inclined something like that because they were saying, like, in the first one, the mystics were saying like he's the other one, and then they freaked out. So there has to be two, but I don't know if the two are Sauron and that guy, or if there's two of this guy and one of them is bad. But I agree. I would love for them to be the blue wizards. Like I I can deal with it being Gandalf, but I just think it's boring. It's a boring choice. I'm sorry, but it is. And I know that I
It
might
could
come
be.
across as a little bit more negative this season than my starry-eyed, hopeful person that I was for before season 1. But I don't know. I feel like they're safing it too much. They're taking making some choices that it's not. They're not safing it for the people who love the lore. They're safing it for the people who are going to watch it who don't know anything about the lore.
Yeah, they want that is it Gandalf
Yeah.
thing. I think get a lot of the more Fairweather fans. But I mean, I hope they tell us if he's a blue wizard or not soon, because that'll free up the kind of cringiness of if it's Gandalf versus the like, let's have fun with this if it's the blue wizards. At least in my opinion,
Yeah.
because the Gandalf one is, that's a pill you got to swallow if they're going to take Gandalf East. Whereas if it's just blue wizards and they're having fun with it, I want to know because this could be awesome.
Yeah, agree.
It could be. I hope, and I feel like that's kind of what they're playing there. There's several moments where, um, so, where they're talking about how we have these two, and honestly, it feels like the best possible scenario is to have one of them be good, one of them be bad, because we do have those two opposite versions of the Blue Wizard story, where in the first one they were basically corrupted by Sauron in the East, or indirectly at least, and they became founders of cults, and they, yeah, basically straight from the way, straight from the path. But the newer version was that they actually helped a lot by basically sabotaging and like being in the background of Sauron's armies and so on, and like trying to like attack in a way from the back, and in such a way they reduced the might of Sauron's armies when they were fighting the West, and it said that East would have otherwise prevailed if it wasn't for the works of the Blue Wizards. So by having one be good, one be bad, we are kind of getting the best from both worlds, and that can be like this combination maybe of this storyline. But before we go back to that, we have Ben Walker performing a new song that Gil Galad will be singing in the Rings of Power Season 2. So, Kyle.
Hang on. Ben Walker!
That's funny.
Let's do one more. Okay. That was great. Okay, I don't want to be that guy and be like, I love this, but seriously, like I usually don't get hyped that easily, but that sounded so good, and I'm just hearing it through from Twitter through the stream on my headphones. That sounded really good. I cannot wait to hear Gil Galad sing.
Yeah, cool.
That was great. Folks in the chat, what do you think of that? Great voice, yeah, right. Oh my god, that's good. That has potential to be one of the low-key cooler moments of the season. Honestly, I'm calling it right now. And we cannot have talking without some songs.
Yeah.
So that was really good. So what were we discussing? Yeah, Blue Wizards. So folks in the chat, what do you reckon? Do we have? I saw a lot of people still discussing that this might be Saruman still, which is possible. He is known to have went to the east at some point. In one of the versions, he goes with the Blue Wizards there, so we might get Saruman. You know what? What if we get Saruman further down the line and he also shows up? So we got 3 wizards in the east. Imagine that.
That'd be great. We could have a lot of fun with it, that's for sure.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I had to change my microphone. I hope you can still hear me. My Yeti is
All good.
really acting up today. It's not fun.
We hear you loud and clear.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good. But I wanted to chime in and say, like, yeah, I know Gandalf is loved by the fandom and the lore, and like that are more people out there who know about him, but people who hadn't even read Lord of the Rings and saw it in the movies didn't know about Gandalf until they saw him. It's the same with anything. Like, you don't know it until you see it and then you fall in love with it. They already know the stranger by the name The Stranger. So if he's revealed to be a blue wizard and they create a compelling storyline, that's also, of course, going to be interesting for someone who isn't into the lore, because you're creating it's a canon character that they're making known to the public, I guess. So it's like that with anything. Before you see it, you don't know it exists. So they already like the stranger. They might like him even if he's not Gandalf.
I think that's very well said. I mean, you know, everybody loves Gandalf. Why not get something new out of it and expand the lore? Like there's just so much gray space in Tolkien's lore in this whole storyline that they can make their own while still merely expanding the lore without contradicting or something. So, like, to have again 2 blue wizards and maybe one of them be good, one of them be bad is one of the great ways to go about it. But what do you? Yes. So we have this question: is it my task to stop the fire? So this conversation between Tom Bombadil, and the stranger. What do you think of that? And what do you think of Tom Bombadil potentially being the kind of like a mentor figure, basically, to the stranger, who is still discovering a lot about himself?
Jared, it's a good way to include him, I guess.
Yeah.
Without him reciting poems all the time. I don't know. I've been skeptical to including Tom Bombadil forever, but
you're not the only one. Yeah.
I'll give it a chance. I mean, if he's a compelling character and if he's interesting, like, if anything, the show is enjoyable as a standalone piece of work. So, yeah.
The tough part here is that he's so willing to stand on the sidelines in Lord of the Rings, and he's clearly involved here. So it'll be interesting to see how far they go with him pushing others to do things when we know that ultimately he's not willing to do them.
Maybe that's why he backs off in the Lord of the Rings. Maybe they have a point in this. Like, I don't know. They are saying that it's, you know, obviously not going to be connected to Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and all of that, and they might be going in a different direction anyway. It's like a separate piece, and because they're obviously making choices here that aren't canon and that somehow might even make the Lord of the Rings not make sense in the way that it is at the moment. But yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's like what he does here ultimately blows up in his face, so he decides to just go, oh, okay, well, fuck you guys, I'm just not gonna get involved anymore.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being a motivating factor, but that would mean that either I think goes really wrong, or I mean, maybe the stranger becomes evil. So something would have to go wrong for him to feel that way at the end of it, I think.
Yeah.
So I would say let's jump back to the beginning of the trial. There's a lot of things happening with the rings. So, for example, we have this, first shot where or actually maybe we can hop on to Ant-Wives first.
Yeah, that's the real.
So at the very end, we see our first ever shot of Ant-Wives.
Yeah,
sharing some.
Was there any heads up of
age-old wisdom?
So
yeah, Jared, what do you think of this?
Yeah, one thing I was interested in, first of all, the attacking Entwife there is fun, because I think that reminds me of when he says he almost tramples Merry and Pippin. Treebeard is just like, oh, I thought you were orcs, I was going to trample you. They're clearly naturally defensive. So I'm wondering if that's what we're seeing there. But if you back up a little more, there's the shot of the face. I think it's a little earlier.
Yeah,
No,
it's a little
I think it's
earlier.
earlier than that. Let's see. There it is at 2:38.
There.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is really fun to me. So she says forgiveness takes an age, and I was kind of thinking about kind of reworking that in my head on why she would be saying forgiveness takes an age. And if you think about, we only see Treebeard's side of things and the Ents, and his angle is that they were abandoned by the Entwives, more or less, right? That the Entwives picked their gardens and stayed over there and didn't want to come live with them, and that they couldn't kind of sync up. And so the thought that you meet an Entwife and she's immediately talking about forgiveness, and it sounds like trying to let go of bitterness or pain, and she could be talking about anything. But I'm curious if she's talking about Ents, and if it's the other side of that perspective that they abandoned us, and it's like, well, they hurt us and we need to forgive them, or what, something is going on there, because I just don't know why she would be talking about forgiveness immediately unless they're already, what happens to them has already happened. But I don't know. Those are my initial thoughts.
One thing that just came to my mind, so because I'm in the process of rewatching season 1 now. 2 episodes ago, or actually no, sorry, I'm about to come to that episode. I think it's the 7th episode. There's a garden that the Harfoots are traveling to, and the garden. It has, like, with a capital G, basically, this promised place where they always migrate to, and that's something that is obviously what Entwives are known for, the gardens. So I wonder what's the connection there, and I'm wondering, like, who is this person who is talking to an Entwife? Because what happens is that during the Second Age, the Entwives resided in this region that's like north of Mordor, south of Mirkwood, and all we know is that it gets burnt. Actually, I think it says it gets burnt by Sauron as the armies of the Last Alliance are approaching.
Yep.
But then again, we saw there's this garden that gets destroyed in the explosion of Mount Doom in season 1. When Harfoots get there, it's destroyed. So I'm wondering, like, what's happening here. Do you have any theories how this could relate?
I mean, they could tie them in so many ways, because we know that they do teach men how to, like, agricultural things, right? So they're willing to talk and interact with, human formed people. So the Harfoots could have a relationship with them already. But yeah, I don't know. That's good. That's a good point.
And we're in. Okay, but I don't think
Hey, we have live. All right.
Hey,
and I assume Harry's around. So we have a live from San Diego Comic-Con.
Looks like a running track. Jesus.
Yeah, that's great.
Coming through the earphones. Hey guys.
Hello. What are we watching?
Hey.
You're watching all the people coming into Hall H right now, only because we are totally figuring this out on the go, so I apologize.
So are we. It's fine. Isn't that the Fellowship way?
How do I flip this camera? Oh, it's going to force me to use that camera. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Hold on. Let's do this. Okay, cool. Now we're back. I'm here with Harry. Hello.
Yay,
Hello.
Harry.
Yeah, now we're trying to get audio going, and we're going to be good after that. Here we go. Business. Okay. I think that will solve our problem.
Perfect.
So, folks, we have a live from San Diego Comic-Con, and let's hear what our friends got for us over there.
Should I start, Harry? I'll start this off. Okay, cool. So we got to see some really cool stuff here. before they even showed a trailer, there was this amazing little like preamble where we heard a bunch of dialogue of Sauron or Anatar talking to Celebrimbor about the knowledge he can give him to make these rings. And I would say the dialogue was like chilling. It was beautifully written. It felt like something straight out of Tolkien, which for me was kind of my biggest concern going into season 2 was how is the writing going to be? And if this is a taste of what it's going to be like, we are in for a treat. It was so cool. Of course, we got to see the trailer. I assume that must be live online right now. But we also got to see a lot of other clips. They showed us a bunch of just random things from behind the scenes to a little featurette about the different creatures we're going to see in Middle Earth. And there were some great questions asked on the panel, mainly about, their experiences shooting and this and that, who we may see down the line, which I'll leave for a later discussion because that's some big spoiler stuff. But yeah, that's kind of a brief overview of what we saw today.
Very cool.
That's a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I didn't even go into the juicy stuff, which I think we'll save if we want to take that down the way.
Thank you. Harry, do you want to... Can we get something from Harry?
I think Harry's having some technical difficulties. Oh, I don't think you're able to hear you, dude, because it's typed in my AirPods. Oh, yeah. Do you want to just add to anything I said? It was just what happened. What did we see?
We're not hearing him.
We can't hear.
Can't hear you at all. Told you can't hear you.
Nope.
No.
I think maybe you need both, Harry. Both ears.
Alright, okay. Let's try to see if this works.
There we go.
Hello,
Got
hello.
it. Hey.
Hey.
So yeah, it was very, very intense. A lot of different stuff. We of course got confirmation about Glorfindel potentially being a future season. Same with Celeborn. So we got that. They showed us a lot of footage. We get his. I think we got an OG Sauron narration at the start as well, which hopefully that will come out soon. But generally, people in Hall H were very, very excited. There's a lot of lore stuff from the books that they've shown this. Maybe that's a tactical thing, but the showrunners do seem confident. And it looks like we're going to be getting an Eregion, Sauron, Anatar story, which is the biggest thing that's taken away from all this. And it's going to be exciting to see what they're going to, their take on that's going to be. So yeah, lots of really, really excited reactions in Hall H. We've got a lot on the Twitter, but yeah, the trailers is seemingly, at least here, gone down really well at Hall H, as you can see over here. So yeah, that is all really good news on our side over here.
Nice. So tell me, I remember I remember after season 1, after you saw some of the first bits, you were not too excited. How do you feel now? Are you more excited for season 2 than you were for season 1? Perhaps?
Yeah. So when I first got invited to the Rings of Power stuff and that sort of thing, again, I wasn't too excited. But now, so I would say now for season 2, it is looking like it's going to be a big change in that regard. Sorry, 1 sec. Cool. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, I'm very, very excited from what I've been able to hear, see. Lots and lots of canon stuff. We didn't get to see no Círdan, no Na'vi yet, but Tom Bombadil, interested to see what their take on that is going to be in the end. But beyond that so far, yes, I am quite excited about what's potentially going to be coming in this season. And there was a battle shot in one of the content we saw, which nearly looked like the Siege of Minas Tirith. That's how good it looked. So I'm very excited to see that. The battle stuff's going to be amazing. So yeah.
All right. So is the event over? Because you're already
So the
out,
event
or?
is over now. So they're going to be going to an after party. Well, some of them are where they're going to do signings. But yeah, I think beyond that, we're excited. Chase, do you want to come back? Do you want to say any final things? Cool. But yeah, no. As you can see, everybody is here at Comic-Con behind, getting ready for some Dr. Marvel related. So yeah, I feel that's just enough from here. Very excited. Trailer's going down really, really well. excited to see now August 29th if it will all come off well. But from everything here at San Diego, it is looking very, very positive.
Exciting.
All right, I'm
Good
very
to see
happy
you,
to hear
Harry.
this because I remember you had your reservations before season 1,
Yeah.
and it's reassuring to hear that you have some hype now for season 2.
Hype, yes.
So
And you guys have seen the trailer and how good it was. So
yeah,
yeah, exciting.
it does look very good.
It
Yeah.
does, yeah.
But yeah, no, so thank you guys for the stream today. That looks really, really all great as well, and excited to see, discuss this more with you guys. So yeah, thank you, Nikki Strider, doing a great
Thank
job.
you
And
for
we're gonna
the
head off now.
and
Have
Jaron
fun.
D and
Oh
Ulmo
yeah,
and
and
Kyle.
Chase.
Yeah, thanks for the updates, and Chase. Thank you for the updates. Keep it coming, and
Yeah.
have fun for us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Oh,
Bye.
wow, that's Big Me. Wow. Cool. Hey, guys. It's just really
all
awkward
right.
when all of a sudden it's your big face and this on the big screen. It's like, hi. Yes. Cool. All right. So
I'm
it's
sure
just
no
us
one
now.
minded. It is. Well, us and 166 people on YouTube, and I
Yes.
think quite a few other people as well. And Kyle, of course.
And Kyle. Kyle the Wizard.
3,900 on Twitter, exactly. I'm seeing a number here, yeah, a bit more than 4,000. So, cheers to everybody over there. I wish I could see your comments as well. But
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying the stream. You can let
And
us
thanks for
know
watching.
what you think of so far. Yeah, and thanks for sticking with us, sticking out with us for so long. It's an hour and a half. And yeah, we have also a super chat here from Ring Spectre. Thank you very, very much. So the quote "Stop the fire" might refer to Gandalf fighting the Balrog in the future. Might explain why Gandalf was quite hesitant to enter Moria.
Maybe.
Could be.
Could be. If
this
the
will-
stranger really is Gandalf, then yeah, for sure that would be a good connection. Very very far-sighted, very very clever. And it is true, he was hesitant. He did not want to go in there because he knows obviously what's in there. So he must have interacted with them at some point, right? But doesn't he interact with them later? So they're moving this forward a bit, are they?
So I think in the books, I think Gandalf is having. I don't think he does not know for sure. He doesn't know that the Balrog is there. He knows that something bad is going on, and he has, how talking characters, some of them often have like this gift of foresight, like a feeling of whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that was what was going on. But he is caught off guard. Like he understands that this is a Balrog, I think, only at the bridge of Khazad-dûm. After he already encountered him once, and then they fled, and then they come to face finally at the bridge. That's when Gandalf realizes actually that okay, this is a Balrog. It makes sense now. But this might be a hint, definitely. But also, I think that
Yeah, that's right.
Sauron is in a
Aragorn wanted to
way.
avoid Moria in the books. That's right. So, and it wasn't really Sauron that fought him in the end either, was it? No, it wasn't really Gandalf that fought him in the end either. It was
That is correct, but still,
Glorfindel.
Gandalf didn't know. Gandalf actually that does make more sense. Gandalf didn't know that the Balrog is in there, as I said, but Aragorn was the hesitant one. That is correct. Thanks for the correction very much.
Yeah, but could it be something else then? Because like he's been traveling with the hobbits, basically. I mean, could it be another storyline? Could it be that he's telling him to stop the forges, to stop the making of the rings? Could it be that? Could it be something else? Could it be that he's fighting, if it's a blue wizard, it could be that he's fighting the other blue wizard and there is stuff going on there that isn't fully related, because we've had all of this like separate storylines in season 1, and they did say something about them all coming more together now in season 2, but I don't know if we're still gonna see, like, because there's still going to be separate storylines. It's not all going to be intertwined yet.
At least not for a
It's
while.
like Game of Thrones. Like, Daenerys was way off for ages before she suddenly decided to return. So I don't know. It could be a completely unrelated fire, or it could be that
Yeah.
the fire is burning in Moria. No, in not in Moria, in Mordor, and that he is uh, wanting to turn that off because
So
that.
I think I don't know if I might be wrong on this one, but I think well Sauron is either way connected with the Forge, and I think he might have also been a spirit of fire, but at the very least he was connected with Aule, who is the Valar of like craft and all that. So I think it makes sense, like as you say, like it might be connected to to maybe something that's we don't know. It's a little split second here. It might be that this is kind of like a hint towards what might be happening in the future with Sauron. But yeah, it might also be, and I think it might be interested, or might be both, that it's also the other blue wizard, perhaps,
Mm.
if it is
And
indeed two blue wizards.
sorry, Sylvan. I did not mean to belittle Gandalf's epic Balrog fight. I was mistaken, and I did mix the two up. It is similar stories, but equally as
No
epic.
one belittles Gandalf.
Gandalf is epic. He is awesome. I like
Everybody
Gandalf.
loves Gandalf.
No hate towards Gandalf at all. Like I love Gandalf.
Only
Would
love.
love to see him in this. The only thing is, I feel like it's the wrong time, and it is an unsurprising choice. They have so many cool guys to choose from that are more canon in this timeline. I don't know, but if that's what they choose, I'm gonna go with it. It's gonna be cool either way. I do like the Stranger. I think he's compelling. I think he's interesting, and I want to see more of his storyline. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, same. So we have another super chat here. So again, Ring Spectre, thank you very much. The writers are teasing too much. They indeed are. There's plenty of
That's
more
what they
to
do.
tease. Yeah. So we can say that the stranger is Schrodinger's Gandalf. The
Yeah.
fire to be stopped is Schrodinger's Balrog. I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, yeah, that's a very good way to put it, because at the moment he can be. He's not even he's not Schrodinger's Gandalf. He's Schrodinger's wizard, because he can be five
Yeah. He's
wizards,
an
or
unknown at
he
this
can
point.
be he can be even a completely made up wizard, because maybe
Yeah.
it's
Oh
of
no,
the rights
please no
issue or
made
something.
up wizards. They can't do made up wizards.
Yeah, we have five.
Who knows? Is he even
One
a
will do.
wizard? Like we know he has magical powers, but what if
He
he's
is.
something else? Like
He is. He does say he is a wizard
he says he's a wizard.
in
Oh,
season
yeah.
one.
Oh man, I must have just forgotten that part, or like
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of it's a
wiped it
very
from my
packed first
memory.
season. There's a lot of drops of things. Um, yeah,
Oh yeah, and I
I think
believe he's one of the
it's
blues, and
interesting.
Kieran is the other. That's yeah. That I mean, sure.
That
I would
is the
love
bet
it.
that I would make.
Yeah. I would love it if he was one of the blue wizards because it is cool. Like, create other cool wizards. We did meet Radagast, we did meet Saruman. I would love to see Saruman in his age when he was powerful. There's a reason why he was like why Gandalf respected him as much as he did, So you want to see that. I want to see those storylines before we start putting Gandalf in, because if Gandalf was the first wizard we meet and the first wizard we hear about in the Tolkien universe in the Rings of Power, then that is sort of implied that he's the most powerful, and in the beginning he's not really. Like, he's gonna be, but he's not really, so it feels wrong to me. It does.
Yeah, no, it would be a missed opportunity. But again, we do have basically direct, indirect confirmation that there is this other Istari, as they say in the first season. So honestly, at this point, it just really feels like we are getting two blue wizards, one good, one bad, and let's just hope
Yeah.
it stays like that.
And Saruman isn't bad at this point either, so it can't be Gandalf and Saruman either, so it's gonna
But-
have to be, right?
Yeah. The interesting thing is, I think in one of these many versions, the blue wizards actually do show up in the second age. So again, even from that standpoint, it does make sense that
Yeah.
we
That's
could have
what I've
them
been
now.
thinking the whole time. Like, I'll be honest and say that in season 1, I really wanted him to be Sauron because it was the only thing that I could get to make sense. I wanted him to be like kind of confused, kind of half good, didn't know what he wanted after he was murdered by Adar, you know, and then kind of turning gradually evil and turns out, wow, he is evil, you know. I really wanted it to be him and not Halbrand. But yeah, I didn't get my way, as you guys know.
Yeah. I was hoping for Halbrand to become the future Witch King, but yeah, here we are.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted that too. That would have been so cool. I would have respected that way more. But then again, I'm looking forward to seeing him in season 2, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him now. So
Yeah. But you know, Nikki, whenever we have you around, elves just keep popping to my brain. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Completely
I
unrelated,
wonder.
but you know,
Even without the ears, you know.
even without the ears, right? So actually, I would like to discuss something. So I think at the very beginning of the trailer, I think it's maybe at 0:22, we have this image of the tree in Linden, and
Mm.
there's this little conversation between Galadriel and Elrond and Gil-galad, it seems,
Mhm.
and they're basically discussing what's happening there. And we see this tree, and compared to, I mean, if we can all for a second remember how this looked like in season 1, golden, orange, red, yellowish, amazing,
Mm.
beautiful, gorgeous colors, and look at this now.
Yeah, the
So
whole vibe is different. Like it's so much darker, and you can see the sky
exactly,
as well. Like even like the filters that were on, like the editing, everything was golden. And now it looks
exactly.
gray and
Thank you,
dark,
Kyle.
and but it could also be, I thank you, Kyle. It could also be just the like opening shot, the angle and stuff, but it does feel like they're trying to tell us like this is ominous. There were some hints, like they did have conversations about like the tree, like the Middle Earth dying. They're already starting to feel like it's time to go. Um so
Yeah, their light of the elder or whatever was diminishing, and there was this whole corruption happening to the tree, which
yeah.
we saw begin in season 1,
Mm,
and that's the reason why they decided to make the rings.
yeah.
So the interesting thing here is like, yeah, how serious? Honestly, I think one of the biggest questions is where is this corruption coming from? Because the showrunners kept saying a few times that it all in some way comes from Sauron, apparently. So
Mm.
did he somehow make this corruption happen? And then how do we see this
Well,
going
he
on?
is.
Because I think Gil-galad says that we will not use that ring until you reveal who this man is, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she says that it is Sauron. So it's like going to be very interesting to see what's this development of, because Gil-galad gets one of the rings at some point.
Yeah.
He should get it like now. So what do you
Yeah.
think? What are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, it feels like, you know, Sauron is really like he is really powerful. And it feels like it's the same with in the Lord of the Rings as well, how they're talking about that it feels darker. The world feels darker. The shadows feel longer. Everything is and it's just because of his presence, right? It's because of the presence of evil. So his presence in Middle Earth and him growing in powers the way that he is, and he probably was before he was killed by Adar as well. Let's not forget that there was a before Adar killed him and he became Halbrand and then he became, you know, all of that. I'm assuming that everybody's seen it because you're here, so no spoilers there.
I hope
Um,
so.
yeah, so there would have to be like a pre-story there about what happened before, and that would have also probably caused this withering in a way, because the Middle Earth can sense it, like it's the evil is trying to eat up all that's good in the world, I guess. And with the rings, you know, this is like at the end of season 1, we saw the oh shit moment of what have I done for Galadriel, and this is partially, I guess, or if not all, because of me, I guess. That he is where he is now. And then she says to Elrond, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've seen it now, and she's like, they have this moment of realization of, oh shit, and then it's kind of unsaid. It feels like they're saying, we can never tell anyone about this. We must never talk about this. And then they finish the rings, and then now there's this big discussion about, are we going to use them? Is it going to be safe to use them? Which feels uncanon because of how we know the making of the rings were in the stories of Tolkien. But they've flipped the switch on that completely, and they started with the 3 elven rings anyway. So why not go with it and be like, oh, can we use them? Are they going to be safe? Yes, they are, because we caught him a little bit earlier, and he didn't manage to embed his full control into them, so they're still kind of safe, and we're going to use them for good. So I guess that's what they're discussing. Are we going to use them? And Elrond seems like he's going to go, no, obviously not, and he's going to be skeptical the whole way, whereas the others are a little bit more like, it gives us so much power, you know. That's what I feel like is going to happen. We have a super chat. What if Sauron in some other elf form, remember the elf lords only meeting, attended Galadriel's farewell ceremony and cursed the tree of linden?
Yeah. So this is a reference to the beginning of season 1, the episode 1, when we find Elrond on the tree when they come to get him. It is said there that he missed that because he's not an elf lord. He wasn't. There was this kind of meeting that he wasn't at. So I think this is a good question.
It is a
I
good
do
question.
wholeheartedly hope that somehow we end up seeing Sauron being the cause for this corruption, because where
It
does this
has
corruption
to
come
be,
from?
right?
Like it has to be, but I think there's so many potential illogical things going on there with, how does Sauron come from that meeting to then being a random person stranded in the middle of the sea? That's the
Yeah.
thing that I'm having issues with. But this is a good theory, and I hope somehow they make it make sense. Nikki?
Well, yeah, but Galadriel went on the boat after that, right? So he could have followed her. But then I'm like, he seemed like he wasn't, to me, when we first met Halbrand, it seemed like he was done. He wanted to do something else. He
That's the
wasn't
issue.
Sauron at that point. He wanted to quit. But then also that could all have been an act, because he knows exactly how to get under people's skin. So he did that just for Galadriel, and it wasn't real, none of it. I wanted it to be like that, like he had not realized the error of his ways, but went, fuck it, I'm gonna do something else. I'm not gonna try to take over Middle Earth. And then Galadriel, because at some point I think Gil-galad or someone said to Galadriel, you're gonna cause this, like you don't realize what you're about to do. And it's kind of like a premonition of, you're gonna recreate Sauron. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. And the thing is, so in a technical sense, they could, I guess, make it work that he was in Linden and then somehow he is like, okay, I'm going to catch up with Galadriel. But in that case, it would be so many coincidences that just wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
And you are also right. So what we saw on the screen, there were a few shots. So basically, I actually just saw this in the episode like a couple days ago. When they are preparing to go from Numenor to Middle Earth, he is hesitant and he is like, I just want to be left alone. I just want to stay in Numenor. I just want to be a blacksmith. Galadriel is trying to convince him. He is keep being reluctant. And there's a particular scene where he is summoned to this one final meeting, and he stays alone in the room and seems contemplative on whether he accepts the invitation to go or not. So I feel that in season 1, he was really someone who is trying to, like, as you said, like he was done with it. So that's the issue. Like, how does this corruption, or could it be perhaps that it is in a way his fault, but maybe in some indirect way, maybe his experiments or something else that he did prior to season one activated this corruption. Maybe
Yeah.
that's one way to do it.
Yeah. Or like it is evil has existed in Middle Earth for ages before this as well. So it could just be a symbol of everything diminishing in a way. You know how there's evil growing in Numenor in the hearts of men. The elves are losing their power. There's all of these things that are changing from the world that they originally created, and the trees. You know, there's all of these things that have already happened that can have caused this already. And it's the Valar's way of telling the elves, get home now because you're done and it's time for the Age of Men, you're finished. um, could just be that. And then it's getting gradually worsened by the tampering from Sauron, who keeps trying to take over the world, obviously. I don't know. It's I'm hoping we'll see more about it because it is interesting to see. Um, yeah, they didn't. I don't know if you noticed, but they didn't mention much about the mithril in the mountain in this one.
They did not. I think they set it up in first season and decided to just, okay, we did the thing. We're gonna call it a apocryphal
We're
story, and then we're
gonna
just gonna move on.
Yeah,
But
it's just we're gonna quietly
speaking,
use the mithril, and the Balrog is obviously there, so yes. But now
and we
now the
just
thing is gonna be about it's not gonna be about the mining of the mithril, it's gonna be about the ring. But then maybe the ring is gonna make Daddy Durin. He's gonna make him
but
more
let's
greedy
just
and wanna dig
let's
more.
just hold on for a second on that, because we just got a very cool information from Attila in the chat. Thank you so much. This is the first shot
Oh,
of
that's
Karen Hins's
cool.
wizard. So, Kyle, if you can do like one quick, I think there's a slightly more of him, maybe like one quick pause and play and pause, perhaps, if we can try
Yeah.
to get it. But yeah, yeah. So
That's
this
brilliant.
is our first view of him. Well, great catch, Attila. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
So,
go and watch this frame by frame in the end. Like
oh,
after
for
we
sure.
finish this, I'm gonna be
Oh,
like
I mean, this is
full
going to be
on
so much
going
fun
through.
back.
Yeah.
So folks listening on Twitter, yeah, like at 1:43 of the trailer, you can see the people who look like mystics from first season, and in the middle of them is, okay, Kyle has well done zoomed in. So we have this seemingly bearded figure with long hair that
And his
is,
staff.
yeah, and his really interesting stuff that must be Karen Hins's wizard.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
That is a very good catch. They hit it really well. Like, this is really going to be like frame by frame
Yeah,
analysis.
we're
Will
gonna
be
have
absolutely needed.
another session later where we're gonna be like, what did you spot?
Yeah, and I like how this is contrasted with the Stranger's wizard, because he has this like
Yeah.
plain wooden staff that just looks like very
Maybe that's the
basic,
flame
even though
he
it
is
looks
asked to
cool.
stop. Maybe he's supposed to stop the other wizard. Maybe because it looks like he has little flames or little bits of gold flying around him. Maybe the whole purpose of them two is they're supposed to destroy each other so that you don't have to deal with them. Because if there's an evil wizard and Sauron, then we have a problem, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe.
But I think that's what might be happening. I
Yeah.
think I think for sure, at least for a while, these two wizards will be in opposition. Who knows how this will turn up in the end? But it is actually, oh my god, yeah, these must be blue wizards. So again, what I mentioned before, in the first version of the story, they turned evil, both of them, and they said that they were founders of magical cults in the East. Like, it was literally staring us in the face the whole time. Like, this is an actual magical cult that we are looking at, and
Yeah.
he is the main person of the cult.
Well,
So, like, yeah,
obviously those two
these
are
must be
the
the blue wizards.
yeah.
Like, honestly, for me, this is confirmed.
Well, yeah.
These, in my opinion, this is confirmed. Like, this must be the two blue wizards.
Yeah, we can't say it's confirmed though, because that would be a lie. There's no one who has told us there is
I'm
full
saying
visits,
for
but
me,
we
I'm not
believe.
saying it's officially confirmed, but
We
for me,
believe.
honestly, I'm just gonna take this now.
Oh, is there another super chat here? Sorry to
There is
return.
another super chat.
Charlie Vickers said in an interview about the lonely scene in Middle Earth, there is always someone watching. Gods are watching. So that scene is gone? What?
So yeah, I'm not completely sure what this means, the second part, but yeah, in Middle Earth there is always someone watching. Gods are always watching. So it is from an interview. There was so many interviews lately, so I don't remember this quote specifically.
Mm.
Actually, it does ring a bell, but I don't know what you mean with this. That scene is gone. But yeah, they are. I think the reason why this story do show up in Middle Earth is because the Valar, the gods of this world, do
Mm.
realize, okay, now we have to act, but they are careful because the previous time they acted to stop a Dark Lord, which
Yeah.
was Morgoth, a huge part of the world was destroyed, sunken underneath the waves. That is why they send the Istari to act as their representatives and to try to spur the peoples of Middle Earth to defend themselves. That is their role, to guide, not to lead. And yeah, so that is the consequence of God's watching.
Oh, he's
But that is
commenting
a good.
Strider's idea that Halbrand must have been sincere because he behaved a certain way when he was alone. Huh. Yeah. So, as in, like,
Okay.
with
Yeah.
Halbrand
He might have been faking it.
pretending, yeah,
Yeah.
because Sauron would know these things. Like, he is powerful. Like, he's
Hmm.
yeah. That would make sense.
Uh,
Like, it would
it
be
would, but
very in
it would still
character for
feel like,
him.
yeah, but it will also a bit feel unless we get like some proper payoff to this. I think so. Wait, we have another one. I meant that scene should not be used as support to repent Sauron. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I do
Agreed.
hope
Like, that
though
is what that's
that
wishful thinking from my end, that's what it
yeah.
was, but then again, it makes more sense and is more canon that he was just pretending the whole time. It's like when he's walking in Numenor and he looks towards the forge, it's just a split second, and we picked these
Mm.
episodes apart before, but I remember we had a conversation about this with how he kind of looks a little bit evil there for a second because he's looking at the forge and he's very like he has a plan. He wants something, and you can tell then. But then that was before we knew he was Sauron. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think for me, I do hope that this is. I absolutely hope that all these theories are correct and that he is indeed this evil mastermind who was planning all of this and faking it all. But in order for this to be true, I think we will need to have like some direct scene that kind of pays this off where he is saying this because the in practical terms, that shot of him is only faking it's only deceiving the fans, the viewers, because he is the only person in the shot. So I hope if this theory is correct, which honestly I would like it to be correct,
mm.
we would need another scene further down the line where he kind of confirms that we have that the Valar are somehow watching, because honestly it just feels like a bit of a cheat scene because he's only deceiving us as he is the only person in this scene that I was talking about. But still,
Mm.
great theory, and I thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see what else can we discuss here. So yeah, a share of gifts.
He
So Anatar
avoided.
means the Lord of Gifts, but
Yeah.
yeah, let's talk about this, Nikki.
He
What's
avoided
your
that question so well.
yeah?
Like it feels like you're watching politics sometimes with this. Like they're good, but I'm sometimes wondering if they should be politicians instead of film creators and working in Amazon marketing. Because the choices they make are like, yep, that makes sense. We don't know if they're going to be using Anatar, as we've even spoken about before. We have
Yeah.
no idea. Like, they've implied but never actually confirmed, and they've never actually
He
said
has been that name has been mentioned in the articles a
it
lot.
has.
Even
But
even the articles that were discussing, even the articles that were covering the interviews with the showrunners. But as far as I remember, I think also someone mentioned it tonight that no one has none of the showrunners have actually said that Anatar particularly is. Anybody in the chat, please, if you have anything to add to this, please correct us if we are wrong. But yeah, it seems like, as you
Yeah.
say, like this might be the political way to be like, okay, this
Mm,
is the sharer of gifts. That's the best we get.
yeah. Oh, they
They
wait,
have
they
okay, so
have
we have a
confirmed. Okay,
confirmation
thank you.
that
Thank you.
it will be used.
Cool. So they're just being sneaky because, the crowd would go wild if he actually said Anatar. They don't want to give the audience everything just yet, which we've said like they are sharing a lot in this, but I think they've been so clever with sharing material for season 1 and season 2, the way they've done it, the way that they've been like leaving people wanting more. You know how some film trailers just give you the whole plot. So when you go see the movie, you're just like, is this it? This is the trailer, just longer. Um, like, leave some room for surprise, leave some room for, oh, is that what that was? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Even though the cat is out of the bag, we've seen season 1, we sort of know what they're doing, what they're thinking. I still want to be surprised, and I think and I hope that they've chosen to do this in this as well, even though it is a 4-minute long trailer and it does cover quite a bit.
Yeah, I honestly, whenever someone talks about awful trailers, Suicide Squad, the first one,
Yeah.
I was so hyped after that trailer. It turned out when I went to the cinema to watch it, they literally put every single best moment, every single good joke, everything was in the trailer. So,
Mhm.
and then the movie was just terrible. So I think that was a great point. Also, I just want to say, like, shout out to everybody who's here with us. We're
Yeah.
going at like 2 hours now, and there's 4,256 people watching this according to
Jesus.
our data here. So
Hi,
just
guys.
shout out to you all nerds nerding out
Oh,
here with us.
I feel humble
It's just
now. I'm like,
absolutely amazing to be to be
yeah, it's
chatting
good
here
to
with
be
you
back.
all. Hell yeah. So yeah, what Anator's wig still looks too high to me, says Enerdil. I
Well, he
think
has to look a little bit
depending on the
different,
shot, it looks better in some shots, I think.
Yeah. They have to make him look different because he's supposed to be tricking people, right? They're clever dudes. The elves, hard to trick, You have to put the wig a little bit higher so that he has a bigger forehead, I guess. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think it is maybe time to start wrapping up this stream. So I
Yeah,
would
there's
just
still
ask
so much left
everybody.
to talk about. We can pick
There is
this
so
trailer
much.
apart, but we might have to do it in another session when we've already picked the trailer apart to
We will have to, absolutely.
yeah. Yeah.
But I would just ask everybody, write it in the comments, in the chats. How hyped are you now after this really good trailer? Tell us what you think. The season is one month away, 1 month and 3 days. But let's maybe finish here by maybe just summing up our overall expectations and maybe like mentioning any favorite moments. Nikki,
Mm.
yeah, let's go with you.
Um, as you know, I was a little bit skeptical coming up to season 2 about how they were gonna pick everything up from here. But you know me, I love Tolkien, I love fantasy, and I love the world that we're in. When like this sort of stuff takes me places that I want to go. I when I go to Middle Earth, I'm home. So seeing the trailer, hearing the music, and seeing the production value of season 2 is really getting me hyped again. I'm excited to see it, and I'm curious about what's going to happen. I want to see these storylines, which make me feel better about it, makes me more excited, and makes it easier for me to get hyped again, which is about time, I would say, because it's just
Absolutely.
around the corner. I think some of my favorite parts were the obviously the elves, everything
Man,
about
we
the
haven't
elves.
even talked about these people.
Yeah. But I also think Rune is going to be very interesting, and I am excited to see these two wizards obviously facing up against each other. Hopefully, um, and the elves as well. Like no, the dwarves, like with Durin and all of that. Yeah. I don't really have like a particular favorite part that gave me goosebumps. It was more of the whole thing just made me feel like, yep, I'm ready to come home. I'm ready to come back. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, well said. I mean, I'm with you. Honestly, um, I've so I was one of the people who were in many ways disappointed with season one. I did enjoy it overall. I watched it several times. There's a lot of things I love about it. Actually, before I go with that, as Anand says, please come back, Nikki. So we expect you more on
I
the
will be
channel
back.
in the next couple of months. I
Yeah,
think
you know
it's
I'm
gonna
the
be
OG, part of the OG
yeah,
fellowship
exactly,
or council of fans.
exactly. So
Now that the show is
Nikki
back
Nikki
on,
will be.
we're back on.
We should have like in Marvel's movies, like at the end, like Nikki will return, in the next one.
I'll be back.
But yeah, so for me, honestly, I was disappointed with season one in some ways. In some ways, I really enjoyed it. I loved Elrond. I loved Durin. Adar again, peak of the season for me, absolutely. Stranger was really cool, but I was never super excited. I think I was always cautiously optimistic, but also this trailer and all the things we heard so far in the last year and a half, all the leaks we had. Honestly, I am a bit hyped now to be, and I think that's actually the first time this was a good trailer. It's really good that they gave us like here 4 minutes, enjoy, knock yourself out, break it apart
Yeah.
frame by frame, which is what we will have to do.
Mm.
I think
Not a
there's a lot
second
of
too late, Amazon. You could have given us this
another
earlier. I mean, my God.
yeah. I think there's a lot of good shots. As I said, like earlier, we have the depth, which was kind of missing in some parts in season one, where it should have been there. Uh, a lot of beautiful things in this trailer. It feels like we are coming to the canon stuff finally, which is always fun to see. We are getting this Anata storyline, which everybody, including myself, absolutely were worried and annoyed with in season one that we didn't get it. They
Mm.
went in a different way about it, but it seems like, and also according to the words of the showrunners, season two is when we get to the canon stuff and then move on from there. So hopefully, season one maybe served as just more or less successful way of setting up everything, and then hopefully from now on, there's going to be a lot of good stuff going on. That shot of Balrog, it's completely not canon. It has nothing to do with canon. There was no mention of Balrog at this time.
But we like
In
Balrogs,
in
right?
the
They're
lore,
exciting.
we don't like Balrogs here. We have some friends of the channel who really love the dwarves, and we love the dwarves. So, but
Yeah,
still,
yeah,
that
we do
Balrog
love the
shot
dwarves.
looks amazing, and I don't know. I might be able to just close one eye and be like, okay, this is not canon, but oh my god, it just looks so insane that I just want to see it on
Yeah.
the screen.
Just enjoy it for the production value. Just enjoy it for the view of it. Like, yeah. That's
Yeah.
just one way to protect your heart, your Tolkien beating heart from being broken
Indeed.
by non-canon things. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, just
Appreciate.
just
Find
just
little things to appreciate in everything. I'm looking forward to falling in love with these characters more so in this season than I was in the first one. And yeah, let's just take it from there. I'm looking forward to going on this journey with you guys, with the chat, with the
with
crew.
everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
This is gonna be so much fun.
Mm.
Okay, I think that's also a very good note to send us off at. Once again, thanks to Kyle for doing everything in the background. Like everything you're seeing, all the technical stuff, that's all his work, and he did an amazing job as always. Thanks to Jaron, D, and Ulmo for showing up, for joining us at the start of the stream. Thanks to Harry and Chase and Marking for all the amazing updates they've been giving us from San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nikki, very much for having this absolutely wonderful chat. I'm so happy we had
I love
2
you
hours
guys.
to talk with each other. Thanks to everybody else who has joined us. 4,300 people.
Yeah, you
That's
guys are
insane.
awesome.
Everybody, like seriously, that's amazing. It's cool to know that there's so many people who are hyped for this season 2. We're looking forward to it. We will have some. I can say it right now. We're gonna have some recap/reviews of season 1 episodes coming up in this 1 month prior to season 2. So
Ooh,
we are looking forward
prepping.
to sharing.
Nice.
Yeah, we're looking forward to sharing that.
Before we
with
head
you.
off, I just also want to say quickly, thank you, Strider, for hosting this and
Yeah,
getting
thank
this
you.
done. I really appreciate that.
We always need a host.
It was
Strider, you're always there. So thank you.
just doing my part. Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks to everybody, folks. I think we'll be having a lot of videos coming up soon, breaking down all of this. Maybe we'll have another live stream in a couple of days. We have to see because there's so much to unpack here. Yeah, we can do a numpat in the chat. Everybody, let's do one big numpat in the chat. So yeah, we'll be coming back very soon for sure. We'll try to break apart this trailer, but there's going to be so much to talk about in the following days. So yeah, thanks again to everybody. Have a lovely evening. We will definitely be talking to you very, very soon.
Bye,
Namaria.
guys. Namaria.